I 37 and my husband 34 have been married for 16 years, and dating for 18, and he has an older sister 42 who has been living with us for the past 6 months. A little context: his sister's ex-husband had been having an affair, and when she found out, her husband left for the new woman, taking partial custody over their son, 11 and daughter 6 He got the house and most of their finances as well. My husband Jack had told her that she was welcome to stay with us for a week or two until she could find somewhere more permanent, and while this was all okay with me, he had never talked with me beforehand, and the house is all in my name. Well, that week or two turned into 6 months and 13 days. She's been living in our basement, but when the children come over every other weekend, it makes the house very chaotic, which makes it hard for me to sleep during the day, since I work nights as a police dispatcher. Her children also tend to make a mess, and sometimes my husband will offer to watch them when my sister-in-law wants to go out. His sister does not have a job, and, as far as we know, has not been looking for one. Last night, my husband and I were having trouble finding a compromise to the situation. I think that it's unfair us to take in his sister, mainly because when my brother had disowned my nephew 19 for being trans, my husband was very against the idea that he would be allowed to live in our house rent-free, even though he was only 16 at the time. I brought this to my husband and his response was that was not a grown-up trying to provide for their family. Plus he had a job and would have been able to pay us rent. My husband's family and I have always had a very strong relationship, and I don't want this to end that, but I think it's unfair to us that we pay all her bills and watch her kids for her, and she can't even pay us a little rent to help cover these sorts of things. Am I in the wrong here? Comment 1. Honestly, the fact that your husband was okay with leaving a 16-year-old child homeless would be enough for me to leave him. NTA for wanting rent, but definitely the a-hole for continuing to tolerate him and his family. Comment 2. Let her and husband know she has not contributed in over 6 months and the agreement was 2 weeks tops. She now has 30 days to figure it out, but also take the steps to legally evict her. Remind husband that house is in your name and you weren't able to assist your family at all, and she has overstayed her welcome. Husband can be upset, but he won't keep using you for his sister. Story 2, posting screenshots of my sister-in-law's texts online and making her look bad. I, 29, and my wife, 28 had our son 6 days ago. The pregnancy was complicated and they had TTTS, twin transfusion syndrome, which resulted in them coming early. They are currently in the neonatal unit and my wife and I practically live there so we can spend time with our boys. My brother and his wife got married 2 days ago. I didn't want to leave my sons or my wife, so I missed the wedding, though I sent them their gift from us and a text wishing them a fantastic day, and I thought nothing more of it. Yesterday I got a text from my new sister-in-law explaining that because my wife and I missed the wedding she'd need us to send her £140 for our plates of food. I asked her if she was joking, as she told me that she got my wife couldn't go as she had to stay in the hospital, but that I wasn't the one who gave birth, so I could have went and saved 2 plates of food from going to waste. I told her she was being ridiculous and asked if my brother was aware she was asking his sister for money for food. She brushed that off and said weddings were expensive and she had to try and recoup her losses, and this should be between us, woman to woman. Between this and her thinking I should have gone anyway, I admit I lost my temper. I ended up taking screenshots of the conversation and posting it to Facebook. This shocked several people in the family, and she must have gotten bombarded with messages as she told me to take it down, as I was making her look bad and people were taking it out of context and thinking she was some kind of villain. My brother called me and told me not to worry about the money, that it was stupid to expect us to pay for the plates, though asked me to take the post down and he'd handle it. He seemed kind of shocked by her even asking this. Did I go too far? My wife is mostly upset by our sister-in-law's comment about how I wasn't the one to give birth, as if it makes me less of their mother. Maybe I should have handled it better, but I admit at the time I wasn't thinking very clearly. Edit. I thought I said in the post but I didn't. Sorry, running on very little sleep. I took down the post when my brother asked me to do so. Comment 1. Oh my God. Your sister-in-law true colors came out the second she got that ring, didn't it? What a witch. I bet she didn't even pay for the wedding. I am just gobsmacked. I wouldn't take a thing down. Let the family see who she really is. Congrats on the birth and for being such an upstanding husband and dad already. Your sister-in-law is horrible. I hope someday she has a miserable pregnancy. Comment 2. NTA, that is beyond messed up, to come asking for money when of course you couldn't go, your damn wife just gave birth. You would have been a terrible partner to her to leave her to go to a wedding. Your sister-in-law seems incredibly tacky, good luck to your brother dealing with that. Story 3, yelling at my doctor. So I, 17F, went to a well-known hospital a few weeks ago. I have been having major abdominal pain that has kept me bound to my bed. The doctor I usually see wasn't in the day that I went, so I was given a different doctor, one that I have never met. As soon as he walked into my room, he did the routine questioning about any medications I was on or any prior medical history. I explained that I had been put on Prozac fluoxetine 2 years prior but had stopped taking it about 6 months ago. For those who aren't familiar, Prozac is a commonly used antidepressant/anti-anxiety medication. This doctor, I'm guessing mid-40s male, immediately blamed all my pain and discomfort on anxiety or stress from school/work. I know my body, this was not normal for me. I had lost 20 pounds in 2 months from the pain causing me to lose all appetite. I tried explaining that to him, but he wouldn't listen and tried to tell me it was all in my head. I was so frustrated and in so much pain I just started sobbing and yelling at him to listen to me and actually do some type of exam to help me. He took that as me just being sad or overwhelmed from stress. Until my mother, bless her heart, finally stepped in and told him to examine me and figure out what was wrong. Turns out I have cysts in both my left and right ovaries, and the cyst on my left one was about to burst. I guess I'm still so frustrated about how I was treated because I just cannot let it go. I've always had a hard time trusting male doctors, and this encounter just deepened that mistrust. Anyways, on to how I could have been the asshole. After we had left the hospital, my mom told me that I was too harsh on the man and could have gone about it a different way other than screaming at him to listen to me. Even though I was calmly explaining to this idiot of a doctor my pain and symptoms, and he still wouldn't listen. I think I did the only thing that would have made him hear me out, but she thinks I was too mean about it. Comment 1. NTA, and you should seriously consider reporting him. Doctors not taking female patients' pain seriously, especially when it's abdominal pain, is a huge issue in medicine. Comment 2. NTA. Physician here. You never tell a patient something's in their head until you've done whatever you can, within reason, to rule out a cause. If a workup has been completed and there's nothing that's clearly the cause, that's what you tell them. You never tell them it's all in their head, even if that's what you may think. Story 4, asking my partner stop telling me to lower your volume. Sometimes when I get excited about a topic, I naturally start speaking louder than usual. Not shouting, just louder than normal conversation level. The thing is, I don't realize I'm doing it in the moment. When this happens, my partner will often interrupt me mid-sentence to ask me to lower my volume. I don't think they mean it in a rude way, and I understand that they probably just want the conversation to stay at a comfortable volume. That's fair. But every time it happens, I feel demoralized and a little self-conscious. I lose my enthusiasm and no longer feel like talking about the thing I was excited about. Even if they don't mean it harshly, it still feels dismissive and discouraging. I've tried to explain how it makes me feel, but they still keep interrupting me. Am I the a-hole for wanting them to stop interrupting me like that? Or do I just need to accept that I should keep my volume in check? Even if it's hard because I don't always realize when I'm doing it. Comment 1. YTA. I'm often on the other side of this. Especially if we're in the public, the other person is completely unaware of how they are breaking social etiquette and it's embarrassing and inconsiderate. If you're not able to regulate yourself, then it's fair for your partner to tell you when you're too loud. It's hard because I don't realize I'm doing it is not a valid excuse for an adult to be inconsiderate of the space they're taking up. Comment 2. YTA. You being embarrassed when someone asks you to stop an asocial behavior is your problem. You haven't tried to change your behavior at all, you just pout when asked to. Grow up, OP. And lower your volume.